Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of April 21st through April 25th. Where in part 2 of our weekly trading game plan, we'll be selecting our top swing trading stocks to watch, stocks in our bullpen, stocks in our shopping list. We'll also discuss how we can use dividend payers and several option strategies to generate income while we wait for our swing trading stocks to set up. So let's get started. So here's our Google document with our notes for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for April 21st through April 25th. We keep our notes for our weekly trading game plans in publicly accessible Google documents. Our notes documents contain links to bonus videos to the tools and resources we use to trade our top swing trading stocks, etc. You can find a direct link to this Google document in the description box below. If you have not already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this trading week titled More Trump Tariff Turmoil, we would highly recommend you also view part 1, as that contains our market analysis, trading strategies, and trade ideas for this trading week. We keep all of our notes documents in a publicly accessible Google Drive folder, so you can refer back to the notes for part 1, as well as previous weekly trading game plan notes, and you can find a direct link also to this Google Drive folder in the description box below. So firstly, we'll go over some of our trade updates for this week, and we'll look at the charts in Webull. So firstly, we got stopped out of our latest long position in WEAT. WEAT is the long ETF on wheat futures. And we had entered in on that again. We swung wheat numerous times with the WEAT ETF. And our latest trade, we entered in on 327 at about 463. We got stopped out on April 15th at about 473 for a small profit with an ROI of about 2%. So that's a 30-day ROI of a little over 3.2%. Congratulations to all of our fellow BeachBum traders who also profited from the scalp trade on wheat. And as you see, if wheat comes back down to that support level, we'll scalp or swing trade wheat again with the WEAT ETF. Welcome, Sydney Osborne. Happy Easter to you. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, Ricky Khan. Happy Easter. Just a quick reminder, although I don't recommend anyone blindly follow us into or out of trades, if it would help you make money, if it would help you succeed in your trading career to see when we enter or exit a trade, you can get real-time notifications of our entries and exits by joining our Patreon. You post notifications to our Patreons as soon as we enter or exit a trade. We also have several channels in our Discord with additional types of alerts available to our Patreon members that I'll show you in a second. And you can listen to the video on how you can best use our trade alerts to help you make money trading via the link into the bonus video in the notes. So very quickly, the several types of alerts channels we have available to our Patreons in our Discord. The first is a Thinkorswim TOS alerts channel. I set up price alerts in Thinkorswim. When those get triggered, they get automatically posted to the Thinkorswim TOS alerts channel. You can see when OGN, pharmaceutical company, hit its 52-week low. MEXX, leveraged long on Mexico, hit its 52-week low. Those get posted to the TOS channel. If I do follow one of those TOS price alerts up with a trade, and we'll reply to that price alert in the TOS alerts channel. It's a trade not directly related to a Thinkorswim price alert, and I'll post that in the trade alerts channel so you can see when we went long and then got stopped out on wheat. We also have an alerts channel that with real-time alerts get automatically generated by our automated systems when stocks are moving up, breaking out near a support level, near our price target. You can also get access to that real-time alerts channel by joining our Patreon. So as you can see in this alerts channel, great resource also for shorter term traders, day traders, scalpers, also a great way to see sector rotations, reversals in the market. So we see TYO, a bear on treasuries breaking out. So treasury prices going down, yields going up. Bitcoin moving up, etc. So again, another great resource to help you with see sector rotations, reversals in the market. Here's staples. So again, you can get access to all those different types of alerts by joining our Patreon. So we hope that all helps. I quickly look at that wheat trade in Webull. Let's see, we entered back in on 327. Zoom that in a little bit. So back on that dip on 327, we didn't get quite the bottom price. So again, you got our notification. You might even got a lower price down as low as 455. And we got stopped out again on 415. You can see when it broke below that pivot point. So hit our stop. We got stopped out, captured at least the majority of that swing up in wheat. Again, if wheat rolls over and comes back down to that 470, 455 area, we'll swing wheat again. And yesterday, again, we looked at the wheat futures and it looks like it might be possibly rolling over, come back down to retest that low. So again, we'll look for another scalp or swing trade opportunity in WEAT. Welcome, Gerald Fitz, RT. Fairchild, thank you all for joining us. Happy Easter to all of you. Okay, we don't really have any good setups for top swing trading stocks to watch right now. As we've been discussing, the market's been typically declining. It's very choppy, a lot of volatility, not great for our style of longer term swing trading. So we're using, as we've talked about for the past couple weeks, we're mostly using our shopping list and watching the number of stocks and our shopping list. So we'll take a look at those when we get to our shopping list. Some I'm particularly focused on right now is we saw Disney a dip below 80. Also looking at options of either buying shares or selling puts on Disney around that 80 level. Also FBY, which is the yield max on Facebook, is coming close to our price target, as we'll see in our shopping list in a minute. Also, NVIDIA's been declining, so NVDY, the yield max on NVIDIA, it's a little above our price target, but if that takes a significant dip, again, we buy these. These are monthly dividend payers on Apple, Facebook, NVIDIA, etc. Also, we were watching uranium. Uranium rebounded late this week, so it's a little bit above our price target. But if uranium corrected back down, we'd look at long on uranium using URAX. We're currently long on oil using USOY, again, monthly dividend payer in oil. But you might find some opportunities there. Oil bounced back up, looks like it's headed back up to 65. But if it reverses back down, we might scalp that off and then swing it again if oil dips below 60 again. And again, we'll be looking at other scalp opportunities in wheat using WEAT. Again, we'll take a look at all the price targets, etc., for all of those, as well as the rest of our shopping list in a few minutes. We use our watch list Google Sheet to watch our top swing trading stocks to watch, as well as stocks in our bullpen, stocks in our shopping list. You can get 24/7 access also to our watch list Google Sheet by joining our Patreon. It's automatically regenerated at the end of each day with our latest top swing trading stocks to watch, bullpen stocks, shopping list stocks, etc. We have a whole series of videos on how you can use our watch list Google Sheet to watch our top swing trading stocks to watch, etc., as well as explanations of how you can use the PE and ATR, how you can use our price targets, buy at, sell at, etc. You can access all those videos via the notes. If we do make any changes to our watch list Google Sheet after it's automatically generated, I will post those notifications to our Patreons and to our stock watch list updates channel in our Discord. So here's our stock watch list updates channel. So you can see back on the 16th, we'll talk about these additions. I added BTBT, Bit Digital. We also updated some of our puts and our puts ROIC Google Sheet. So I also posted those updates in our stock watch list updates channel. And again, if you're a member of our Patreon, you get all those notifications with the latest updates to our watch list Google Sheet. Okay, let me grab a quick drink and we'll look at our bullpen stocks. Okay, if you're new to our community, the concept of bullpen stocks are ones that may not have the setup to warrant inclusion in our top swing trading stocks to watch right now, but I've identified that they may in the near future. So we put them in the bullpen. If their setup improves, and we put them in the game, move them up to our top swing trading stocks to watch list. If they run away or break down, then we just take them out of the bullpen. So firstly, I just want to go over the updates to our bullpen stocks and then some of these new additions I'd like to do some quick due diligence on. So firstly, we're adding BTBT, which is Bit Digital. As you'll see, they're a Bitcoin and Ethereum miner, but they also have a data center exposure. So in a minute, I'll talk more about why I think that might be a decent opportunity. Another one is FF, Future Fuel Corp. They do biodiesel fuels, so alternative fuels. And again, we'll talk about that in more detail, why I like that opportunity in a minute. So we added both of those to our bullpen this week. Leaving KORU, which is the leverage long on South Korea, in our bullpen. It had run up a bit. I considered taking it out, but we'll see. It looks like it's close to a resistance point. So if we do get a pullback, rollover in South Korea, you can hear our current thesis on why we like KORU as a leverage long on South Korea via the link to the video in the notes. Been watching Papa John's, both about the potential for buying shares as well as selling puts. So PZZA, Papa John's, and we recently discussed our thesis with why we are interested in Papa John's. And you can access that via the link to the bonus video in the notes. Taking USIO out of our bullpen. USIO is already run up. So this is UCO Inc. Technology infrastructure company we had in our bullpen. So congratulations to any of our BeachBum traders who caught that run up in USIO after our trade idea that we've been watching for a while. Again, you can hear our thesis on USIO via the link to the video in our notes. So we'll take a look at these in our watch list Google Sheet. And then again, I'd like to do some further due diligence on some of our recent additions. So again, I don't currently have anything in our main watch list sheet, as we don't have any setups that warrant our top swing trading stocks to watch. But again, you can watch those. Any additions we make during the week show up there. Here's our bullpen stocks and the bullpen sheet. So you can see in our watch list Google sheet, you've got price targets, our buy at, sell at, risk reward profiles, any earnings information, dividend information, whether it's optional or not, the PE, so you can choose ones that are cheaper. Also the ATR, help you set stops and price targets. Again, I want to look at BTBT in a little more detail, so you can access their FinViz profiles quickly and easily. You get the link in the FinViz URL column. So here's Bit Digital Inc., BTBT. This popped up in one of my queries where I run profitable companies with potential upside of greater than 2 to 1. BTBT popped up. I in the past thought of them as, Bitcoin miner, but since they showed up as profitable, wanted to take a look at it. You can see they have a very low PE, so that looks pretty attractive. You can see it's down at its 50, or it looks like it's at its 52-week low. Their past earnings, they were expected to lose money. They made a little bit of money. They beat on revenue. Got a little bit of a pop off that earnings beat. It is optionable. Not a lot of discrepancy between outstanding and float. Not a pretty significant short float, so potential for a short squeeze there. Got a positive recommendation. I want to jump down to their definition so you can see why I'm kind of interested in them, not just as a Bitcoin miner. So they also have cloud services for customers such as artificial intelligence and machine learning developers. They do have digital asset mining, cloud services, co-location services, also Ether. So they do Bitcoin and Ether mining, but I'm more interested in these cloud services and these particularly cloud services for companies in the AI segment. So they've got co-location, so they provide essentially data center facilities. They've got data center facilities that they can lease out to AI customers. So I find that very attractive. Now the AI bubble is kind of burst. That may explain some of the current decline in BTBT, but I think there's a nice opportunity there, particularly in the AI segment, data center segment, especially if cryptocurrencies continue to decline. I think they can reorient some of their data center services to servicing AI customers, etc. So again, I think the resurgence in AI that will eventually come may benefit BTBT. We look at their income, it was negative, went positive the latest quarter. EPS was negative, again went positive past couple of years. Positive the past 2 years. EPS also positive the past 2 years. So again, now they're a profitable company. And again, I'm more interested. They do have the benefit of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin and Ether go back up, they will benefit from that. Also, again, the resurgence in the AI data center trend. Again, I think since they have facilities already that they can lease to customers, we see the build out in data centers may be slowing. Microsoft deferred some of their additional data centers, so I think some of those that have those capabilities already, there will be a demand that they can more fully utilize. So let me know what you think of BTBT, Bit Digital. Have you traded it before? Do you know more about the company, etc.? Love to hear your feedback in the comments or in our Discord. And if we zoom out a little bit, see it's got potential upside almost to 6. Looks like it's kind of sitting at a support, does have some significant risk. So again, that's why we put it in the bullpen. Want to see if that support level is going to hold, or again, if it's going to decline back down to previous support level, down about $1. So significant risk, but also a potential significant reward. So again, love to hear your feedback on what you think of BTBT. Welcome, MD. Thank you for joining us. Happy Easter to you. So the second one we added was FT, Future Fuel Corp. Again, another one that popped up in my queries as a profitable company with potential upside. So if we look at FF, Future Fuel Corp, and we see it's declined significantly recently. Got a high about 640, sitting around just below 4 right now. It's below its near-term moving average, so that's going to provide some resistance. It does pay a dividend. Looks like about 8 cents per quarter. So it's showing a 6% nominal yield. So it is a dividend payer. It is profitable. PE is a little bit higher than BTBT, but still relatively low. It is optionable. There's lower float and some discrepancy between outstanding and float, very low short float. Again, performance for the year so far has been pretty negative. Look at their definition real quickly. Do biofuels, specifically specialty chemicals. I was interested in this biofuels, biodiesel blends, petrodiesel. So I thought part of my thesis here is with the tariffs, essentially an embargo on U.S. grains. Again, this is a U.S.-based company. I thought possibly they might look at using some of the surplus wheat, corn, etc. For biofuels. Right now with oil kind of low, not a lot of demand for alternative fuels. If oil perks back up, that might also increase the interest in biofuels. But again, I thought possibly using some excess grains for supporting the farmers, for using it for biofuels might be of some interest. We look at their financials. Income's been positive past couple of years, so they do make money. EPS is positive. Look at past couple quarters. So again, they had one negative quarter and then went positive again. EPS, again, one negative quarter and then went positive again. So they do make money. And it's been as high as 6 recently. Looks like it swings, oscillates quite nicely. So if we catch it at a bottom, it's like it's pretty close to the 24 bottom. And upside up to about 7. So not quite a double, but close. Been as high as over 10. So a little bit choppy, a little bit lower float, but again, it looks like it's approaching a reoccurring support, reoccurring bottom. So again, we're going to keep an eye on FF in our bullpen, see if this support level is going to hold. If so, if we get some kind of catalyst, some kind of swing back up, potential, upside more than a double long term with FF. So again, let me know what you think of FF, Future Fuel Corp. You traded it before. If you have further insight into the company, into the biodiesel, fuel segments, what do you think of my thesis behind that? Love to hear your feedback again in the comments and also in our Discord. Again, you can also see our other bullpen stocks, watch those during the trading day in near real time using our watch list Google Sheet. So I hope that all helps. Okay, I did clean up our honorable mention stocks. So we took some out that have broken down, run away, etc. I don't think I added anyone this week. Again, we'll take EWM. This is another international market on Malaysia. It's run up. Also THD, which is on Thailand. Another one we have been watching. It bounced up, so we can watch those in our ETFs Google sheet. And also the countries listed in FinViz if we get an opportunity. As we talked about yesterday, we're watching those international markets for opportunities. Also, you can hear our recent due diligence on Task and CXM via the links to the videos now in our notes. Talked about that our main focus right now in the current market environment is watching our shopping list stocks and our bullpen stocks. And we'll take a look again at the stocks we have in our our shopping list in a minute. Again, we always recommend that you have your shopping list ready to take advantage of any irrational reactions in the market, irrational reactions to earnings. We do recommend, however, that you stay away from zombie stocks, zombie companies, zombie ETFs. Again, reminder, none of our content should be considered financial advice. We're not financial advisors. All of our content is for education and hopefully some entertainment purposes only. But if you're concerned about company, money-losing company, becoming insolvent, going bankrupt, having to do an offering, have to do a reverse split, you can use our biotech due diligence Google sheet, not just for biotechs, but for any money-losing company to calculate their quarter's cash flow positive, see how many quarters before they might go bankrupt, have to do an offering, reverse split, etc. And you can get access to our biotech due diligence Google sheet also by joining our Patreon. And we have a series of videos on trading biotech, so you can access via the link in the notes. Let me grab a drink and we'll look at our shopping list stocks in our watch list Google sheet. Okay, again, here's our shopping list stocks in the shop list tab of our watch list Google sheet. See, we have a number of the yield maxes that we watch, and we talked about APLY, FBY, we've got NBDY, TSLY. These are all yield maxes on the Mag 7s that we have in our shopping list we'll be watching. As you can see, FBY, the one on Meta on Facebook, is relatively close to its support level, to its 52-week low. So again, you can see our price targets, buy at, sell at levels, the risk reward profiles, dividend information, ex-dividend or last ex-dividend date or next, dividend paid, etc. Earnings dates, there's ex-dividend date, those are earnings dates. The nominal yield, whether it's optional or not, PEs and ATRs if that's applicable. So again, I'm kind of watching FBY. If that one comes down, might buy a block of that. Also, we're watching Disney. If it comes down again below 80 or very close to 80, but probably, could have bought shares on that previous dip. It has bounced back up a little bit. You'll also see in our puts ROIC Google sheet, we're looking at potentially selling puts on Disney at 80. So comparing buying shares versus selling puts. Also got other dividend payers, popular dividend payers, JEPI, JEPQ, BTI, which is total market. We like that. It's got international exposure. Again, that's bounced up a little bit. Some REITs. We're still long on land. Those have things like LTC, O, Stag. Got MP Materials for rare earth, MSB for steel, USOY and USO for oil, URA and URAX for uranium. Again, here's WEAT for wheat. So again, we can watch all of these in our shopping list, and if their risk reward profile, if they're close to their support, they're going to show up in green. So you can see the ones currently attractive. And NBDY, if it comes down a little bit, it's significantly above its 52-week low, its support level. But again, we'll be keeping an eye on those, take opportunities as they present themselves if we get any irrational reactions in any of these segments in the markets. So next, we'll talk about dividend payers and how we can use dividend paying stocks to generate income while we're waiting for our swing trading stocks to set up. Okay, again, in addition to our swing trading stocks, we use dividend payers to generate income while we wait for our swing trading stocks to set up. We use our dividend payers Google Sheet to create a schedule of income using the dividend payers with the type of total return, risk reward profile, composition, category, etc. that we would like. And you can do likewise, get 24/7 access to our dividend payers Google Sheet by joining our Patreon. Got one new addition to our dividend payers Google Sheet that I want to look at, which is PLTY. PLTY, we added that to the yield max sheet in our dividend payers Google Sheet. This is the yield max on Palantir. So it's, I think, recommended by Katon, Easy Mike. So we have a sheet for the yield maxes that we typically watch. You can see Amazon, Apple, Coney on Coinbase, etc. Microsoft, MicroStrategy, NVIDIA, Netflix, etc. So we've added PLTY, which is the yield max on Palantir. As you can see, it's got a total return currently of about 14%. So that's pretty attractive. Again, pays monthly. You can see the current risk reward looks pretty attractive. It's got better than a 2-to-1. We look at the charts. Again, you can access their FinViz profile via the link in the notes column. So we can see PLTY. So it's had some nice swings. So it doesn't look like it just steadily declines like some of them. So I thought that one was attractive. Again, Palantir's had some big run-ups, big dips back down. Again, it's got a nominal yield of almost 39%. And again, still showing a total return of 14%. So that's pretty attractive. So we see it's relatively new. So we're going to keep an eye on that in our yield max sheet. If that again comes down further to a support level, that might be of interest. So let me know if any of you have traded, used PLTY, yield max on Palantir, how that's worked out for you. Again, it's pretty volatile, so might have to be a little bit more nimble with that one. And it has some pretty significant swings, but maybe scalping opportunities, some big gap ups. So again, let me know what you think of PLTY as a yield max, collect monthly dividend, through the volatility on Palantir. So again, we could see the other yield maxes that we watch. Again, take a look at the ones that have, positive total return. And we can see FBY's got a total return of about 17%. BDY pretty high. So not as excited about AMZY anymore. It's down to below 4%. Apple's still above 5. So some of the main ones we also have in our main Dividend Payers Google Sheet. If there's anyone in the chat has a particular dividend payer you want to look at, please show those up in the chat. Otherwise, I'll just quickly scroll through some of them. So I'll try to keep an eye on the chat. See, there's an energy ETF, again, AMZY, below 5%. That's a short on gold. Gold's been ripping up for a long time. Again, we see there's FBY, about 17%. There's the one on Google, it's below 4%. Not as excited about that. IEF and IEI are bond funds. See IEF showing somewhat attractive. Again, pretty low total returns. Iridium's a money loser. JEPI and JEPQ, again, very popular funds. But again, total return less than 4%. Pretty stable. Again, not all that exciting from that total return. It's a money loser. The money loser. ARK's gone negative. That's the yield max on ARK-K. Some of these bond funds you might find attractive. They have decent return, relatively stable. So if you're looking for some, you can check out some of these bond funds, OPP. These are closed-end funds. There's someone on Benzinga as well. Can't remember. Mark or one of the other guests on Benzinga is recommending closed-end funds. So you can take a look at a number of these closed-end funds. Here's PZZA. Again, it is a dividend payer, but again, it's significantly declined. We're looking at price appreciation in PZZA, not so much its dividend, but it does pay a quarterly dividend, so it's kind of an added bonus. QQQY looks attractive, but we've talked about the relative performance of QQQ versus QQQY, and similarly SPY. SCHD is attractive at 14%. Talked about that. SCHG is a little high right now. Talked about SPY and SPY-T. TLT, pretty low total return. This is the broad yield max on a diverse portfolio. It's got a positive total return. We scalped that profitably a couple times. So again, if there's any dividend payers any of you want to take a look at, I'll keep that open. Try to keep an eye on the chat. So in addition to using dividend payers, we also use several option strategies to generate income. We wait for our swing trading stocks to set up. Firstly, we sell covered calls against our positions when they're going up, buy them back when they're going down. And we use our covered calls Google Sheet to do what if analysis on various covered call strategies. And you can do likewise, use a copy of our covered calls Google Sheet to do your what if analysis on your covered calls Google strategies with our Google Sheet by joining our Patreon. We've got a whole series of videos on how you can use our covered calls Google Sheet to help you make money trading covered calls. We also sell puts when stocks are going down, buy them back when they're going back up. And we use our puts ROIC Google Sheet to identify opportunities to sell and then buy back puts. Again, you can do likewise, get access 24/7 access to our puts ROIC Google Sheet by joining our Patreon. Got some additions, some updates to our puts ROIC Google Sheet that I'll go over in a second. And then we'll do some quick due diligence on the additions. So the first one I want to look at is we've added LVS, which is a casino, Las Vegas Sands Casino, to our research sheet. This popped up at the end of each day. I go and look at this option seller ROI.com tool, see if there's any new puts that we might want to take a look at. I want to take a look at LVS real quickly. So that LVS popped up using the option seller ROI tool. So we added that to our research sheet at 30 for May expiration. So here's LVS. You see the current premiums about 120. So it's about 3% at 290, 52-week high. It would be 8%, so that's pretty attractive if that continues, if those puts continue to appreciate. So let's look at the chart and data for Las Vegas Sands. Actually, a number of the casinos popped up in that, but I thought the risk-reward profile on Las Vegas Sands looks the most attractive. We see steep decline. I believe the reason for the major declines in these casinos was their exposure to Macau. I believe Las Vegas Sands has the most exposure to Macau, so most risk of potential retaliation by China against US-based casino operators in Macau. So again, we see a very steep decline starting end of last year. Got decent potential upside. They are profitable. PE is not too high. There's some discrepancy between outstanding and float. Possibly a risk of an offering there. Short float's not very high. It is optionable. Pays a small dividend, nominal 3% dividend. Let's look at their last earnings. So they missed. It was positive, but they missed on EPS. Looks like they beat on revenue slightly. But again, still pretty much declined after a short bounce. See, it's very low, even on a weekly. Monthly, so it looks pretty close to its multi-year bottom. It's bottom in 22 or so, around 30, so it's pretty close to its bottom. So if you don't think there's a lot more downside, it's got potential upside into the 80s, so more than 2 to 1. So you can see we put our strike at 30. We'll see again if that put appreciates further. We might sell some puts against LVS. And you can consider buying shares, comparing selling puts versus buying shares. I wouldn't, again, the risk reward doesn't look too bad. Again, but there is that risk of retaliation from China on the US-based casinos, so it's a risk to be aware of. Could dip even further, make a new all-time low based on those risks. So let me know what you all think of Las Vegas Sands, buying shares, selling puts. What do you think the China exposed risk might be? The others we've updated. So So I lowered the strike on L, on MED, on Whirlpool. You can hear our previous thesis and analysis on L and MED, Medifast, and Whirlpool, WHR, via the links to the videos in the notes. Otherwise, if we look at our main puts watch list, see what might be attractive. You can see Intel at 18's got a better than 5%. I'm not really pursuing other semiconductors right now. Got some, their deltas are just slightly above 30, but the VIX coming down, those deltas have come down quite a bit. Again, I've got a sellout on Disney at 80, at 590. That didn't quite hit, and Disney rebounded, so might have missed that opportunity. Soxel at 7 is attractive. We already sold some puts and got assigned puts at a much higher price on Soxel. So we're waiting for that turnaround in semiconductors. The research tab, we look at anyone else attractive. Albemarle at 50, if you're interested in that. SoFi, I've been looking at this, although got it set at 850. It's got a very attractive ROIC, but in my humble opinion, it's got some significant potential downside. I have been looking at that. Can you see the downside versus upside on SoFi? But again, if you're willing to take that risk, you can get a pretty nice return on those puts right now. It's not one I'm a little concerned about that risk. I think they have earnings coming up soon too. April 29th. So again, if you're less risk averse, might be able to capture some decent premium with puts on SoFi. Again, some risk there. Also, this is a money loser on cannabis, warehousing, etc. facilities. So not terribly interested in that since they are losing money. Cannabis had declined, etc. So we'll keep an eye on some of these, see if the further decline in the VIX might lower some of these premiums. So we do get a significant correction in the market. We'll see if any additional puts opportunities show up. Might look at maybe look at some of the puts on like BTBT and FF. Maybe I'll look at those, adding those to the research sheet as well. Do some further research and check those out. Let me know if you'd like to add any particular stocks, looking at puts. Give us the ticker symbol, the expiration, the strike prices you're looking at. You can add them to our automated systems, collect the options data, add it to our puts ROIC Google sheet, and you can see the opportunities for selling and buying back puts in our puts ROIC Google sheet. And we've got a whole series of videos on how you can use option strategies, make money, also just options in general. Got a whole playlist of videos on trading options. Okay, let me grab a drink and check the chat, see if there's any questions or stocks you want to take a look at with the last couple minutes we have. If I missed your question earlier or the stock you want to look at, I apologize. Please throw those back in the chat and we could take a look at those for a few minutes. Okay, again, I'll try to keep an eye on the chat. If you have any outstanding questions or a stock you want to take a look at, please throw this back up in the chat. Otherwise, you can always put your questions in the comments to any of our videos or in our Discord. Our Discord is free to join. You get access to all kinds of different channels, talk about all things trading, different asset classes, using different trading platforms, different trading styles. You can get access to all those channels for free. It's just the few exclusive channels to our Patreons that I pointed out. If you do have a question or you want us to look at a stock, please tag us in the Discord. We're BeachBum Trading, all lowercase, other character symbols, etc. If anyone else is an imposter, please report and ignore them. Also, we'd love your feedback on what we can do to continue to improve our weekly trading game plans, any of our videos, our tools, our Google Sheets, our community, etc. What can we do to add more value for all of our BeachBum traders? We have a suggestion box also. You can put your comments in the comments to the video or in our Discord. Can we have a suggestion box? You can also put them in there. Thank you for that feedback, RT. RT says BTBT seems to issue more shares each year, so watch for potential dilution. Might see if they have a shelf offering sitting out there, if there's a risk of an offering. I don't believe we saw a significant difference in outstanding versus float, so we can't necessarily see if there's a risk of offering. Yeah, we didn't see much discrepancy there, but might check their offering, see if they have a shelf offering. Thank you for that feedback, BT. Here's the data, 69 million at 2021, 82, 107. So yeah, they've been increasing share count, diluting. So again, be aware of that potential risk. So here's another question I've been meaning to ask our community. Just ran out of time in the past is how can we reach traders who haven't really had experience trading the markets, etc. I saw, when the market took a dive after, quote, Liberation Day, took a significant hit. I know of people who did the same thing they did in 2008 and 2009 when the market dumped, is they see the big decline and they sell at the bottom, liquidate their 401k, and leave the stock market, don't look back because they locked in their losses because they sold. And part of the reason we started this channel was to try to reach people, not to panic sell, how to make money trading, how you can learn this life skill. And again, not to panic in those instances and lock in a loss that they may not ever recover. If they don't panic and sell, over years, they could have recovered their losses. Again, I saw a lot of people get really hurt in 2008-9, locked in 30% losses, and may not have been able to retire because they lost a big chunk of their 401k. So I'd love to hear your feedback on how we can reach those people. Again, they're not necessarily traders, so they're not in the trading community. So if you know people like that, I'd love to have you invite them to join our Discord, invite them to subscribe to our channel. How can we save people from, losing a lot of money, locking in those losses, panicking, and again, putting their retirement at risk or their lifestyle at risk. We'd love to be able to help them learn how to trade, learn how to lose money in the stock market, and hopefully make money and gain that life skill that you can use the rest of your life from anywhere. So again, I'd love to hear your feedback on how we can reach more people, continue to grow our BeachBum trading community, for the mutual benefit of all of our BeachBum traders. So thank you again to everyone in the chat. Again, I'd love to hear your feedback. MD asks if we have a Reddit. Yes, we have a Reddit. You can find links to all of our social media sites in the link section on our homepage, beachbumtrading.com. So here's the link to our Reddit community. So we post our videos also to Reddit. We've got a Facebook group, Facebook page, etc. So you can find and follow us, or our Twitter. I left it as Twitter, etc. So again, you can find links to all of our social media sites in the link section of our homepage. So I hope that all helps. So thank you again to everyone that joined us in the chat today. Anyone watching after the fact, again, we want to wish you all a happy Easter. Hope you're having a wonderful long Easter weekend holiday. And we hope to see you all back next weekend for our next weekly trading game plan. 10 a.m. on Saturdays for part 1, 10 a.m. on Sundays for part 2. In the meantime, good luck and have a great trading week.